Some movies in old Hollywood were so scandalous that it almost destroyed Hollywood. Here are the 15 movies from the pre-code Hollywood that not only changed the history of Hollywood, but it also almost destroyed Hollywood. The Jazz Singer, 1927. The Jazz Singer is a landmark film that forever transformed the landscape of cinema by being the first feature-length motion picture to include synchronized dialogue. Released in 1927 and directed by Alan Crosland, the film marked the dramatic shift from silent films to talkies. At its core, The Jazz Singer tells the story of Jakey Rabinowitz, a young man torn between the traditions of his Jewish heritage and his desire to forge a career in popular entertainment. Starring Al Jolson, whose dynamic stage presence and musical talent captivated audiences, the film's introduction of recorded sound not only revolutionized storytelling, but also redefined the art of acting and film production. This cinematic innovation ignited both excitement and trepidation within the film industry. Studios quickly recognized that sound technology would demand a complete retooling of production techniques, from new cameras and lighting to revised directing styles that accounted for dialogue delivery. Despite initial technical limitations and mixed reviews from traditionalists, the cultural and commercial impact was undeniable. Audiences flocked to see a film that bridged the gap between silent, visual storytelling and the immediacy of spoken word and music, creating a new language of cinema. The Jazz Singer thus stands as a monumental achievement, not only for its technical feats, but also for its influence on narrative structure, paving the way for future generations of films to explore complex characters, rich dialogue, and a seamless fusion of sound and image. Metropolis, 1927. Directed by Fritz Lang, Metropolis stands as a towering masterpiece of German expressionist cinema. Set in a futuristic dystopia, it tells the haunting tale of a society sharply divided between the wealthy elites who reside above ground in dazzling skyscrapers and oppressed workers who dwell in subterranean factories. The film follows Frater, the privileged son of the city's master, who discovers the grim realities faced by the workers, and Maria, a charismatic woman who leads the workers toward revolution. Known for its striking visual style, intricate set designs, and symbolic imagery, Metropolis vividly portrays themes of class struggle, industrial oppression, and human alienation. Its unforgettable visuals, from massive factory machinery to the iconic robot Maria, have influenced filmmakers from Stanley Kubrick to Ridley Scott. Director Fritz Lang and writer Thea von Harbu expertly weave together philosophy, politics, and striking imagery, capturing the anxieties of a rapidly modernizing world. At its heart, Metropolis explores the urgent warning that societal harmony cannot exist without empathy between the classes, famously concluding, "The mediator between the head and hands must be the heart." Despite initially receiving mixed reactions and financial setbacks upon release, the film is now universally regarded as a visionary achievement in cinema. Its bleak yet mesmerizing depiction of industrial exploitation, class struggle, and the potential consequences of unchecked technology continues to resonate nearly a century later, solidifying Metropolis as a timeless reflection on humanity's ongoing tension between progress and morality. Wings, 1927. Wings, released in 1927, was not only Hollywood's first-ever Academy Award winner for Best Picture, but a daring and revolutionary masterpiece, especially when viewed through the lens of pre-code cinema. Directed by William Wellman, this epic drama depicted the harsh realities and emotional turmoil faced by two American fighter pilots during World War I, captured through groundbreaking aerial battle sequences. These scenes were so innovative. Real military pilots and aircraft were utilized, giving audiences thrillingly authentic dogfight footage. But beyond its breathtaking visuals, Wings subtly challenged the era's social norms. It featured scenes of male friendship that hinted at romantic undertones, a portrayal of closeness between soldiers that today is seen as courageous representation of queer subtext. This bold narrative choice sparked controversy, reflecting society's tension around masculinity and love during wartime. Even Clara Bow, the famed It Girl, pushed boundaries with her role as a vibrant, independent woman whose sexuality was refreshingly unapologetic. Long before the Hays Code clamped down, wings soared, both literally and metaphorically, daringly exploring themes of war, love, and loss in ways no movie had before. It remains celebrated today for its astonishing aerial stunts, cinematographic excellence, and its quiet defiance of censorship. Mata Hari, 1931. Mata Hari, starring Greta Garbo, is a film that stirred both controversy and fascination with its portrayal of seduction and espionage during wartime. Released in 1931, this film reimagines the life of the legendary exotic dancer and spy, capturing the allure and danger that surrounded her myth. Garbo's performance is mesmerizing, imbued with a magnetic intensity that hints at both vulnerability and unbridled passion. The film's narrative weaves a tale of deceit, forbidden desire, and the high stakes of international intrigue. What makes Mata Hari particularly compelling is its audacious depiction of sensuality. Garbo's character navigates a perilous world where seduction is as potent a weapon as any physical armament. The film's controversial scenes, suggestive yet artfully veiled, challenge the conservative standards of its time, earning both praise and scorn. Despite the backlash from those uneasy with its frank treatment of desire, the film struck a chord with audiences who were ready for more complex portrayals of female sexuality. Beyond its provocative narrative, Mata Hari is celebrated for its lush visual style and meticulous set designs that evoke an atmosphere of exotic mystery and danger. The film's layered narrative invites viewers to question the boundaries between duty and desire, heroism and betrayal. As a result, Mata Hari not only became a box office success, but also cemented its status as a cult classic, inspiring future generations to explore the intersection of gender, power, and the art of seduction on screen. The Hands of Orlac, 1924. The Hands of Orlac, another standout in German expressionist cinema. The Hands of Orlac plunges into a nightmarish exploration of identity, fate, and madness. Directed by Robert Wiene, who previously created the iconic The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, this silent horror film tells the chilling story of Paul Orlac, a renowned concert pianist whose life descends into chaos after losing his hands in a tragic accident. In a desperate bid to save his career, surgeons graft the hands of a recently executed murderer onto Orlac, sparking a terrifying psychological spiral. Orlac becomes haunted by the thought that his new hands possess a will of their own, driving him toward violence. Director Robert Wiene, already famous for his groundbreaking The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, amplifies Orlac's paranoia through surreal set designs, stark shadows, and sinister visual distortions characteristic of the Expressionist movement. The film's grim exploration of identity, guilt, and the loss of control offers a powerful meditation on the nature of human free will, with striking visuals that evoke a sense of unease and dread. Conrad Veidt, one of silent cinema's most expressive actors, delivers an unforgettable performance as Orlac, embodying the internal battle between man and madness. Although produced nearly a century ago, the film's themes, especially the fear of medical experimentation and loss of bodily autonomy, remain eerily relevant today, ensuring its enduring status as a psychological thriller that taps into universal fears about identity, autonomy, and the terrifying consequences of tampering with nature. Babyface, 1933. Babyface is a quintessential pre-code film that powerfully illustrates the era's unrestrained approach to female sexuality and economic ambition. Starring Barbara Stanwyck, the film centers on Lily Powers, a woman who rises from a disadvantaged background by leveraging her physical allure and cunning wit in a male-dominated world. What sets Babyface apart is its unapologetic depiction of a woman who uses seduction as both a weapon and a means of survival. Lily's journey, marked by calculated relationships and strategic manipulation, exposed the double standards of an era that simultaneously celebrated male ambition while demonizing female agency. The narrative, rife with provocative scenes and innuendo, challenged the moral boundaries enforced by later censorship regimes, as it presented a heroine who defied traditional gender roles and societal expectations. Critics of the time were polarized. Some admired the film's bold narrative and its unvarnished portrayal of power dynamics, while others decried it as an affront to decency. Beyond its scandalous surface, Babyface serves as a poignant commentary on the intersection of sex, power, and economic opportunity in Depression-era America. Its legacy endures in discussions about gender politics in cinema, offering a window into a time when Hollywood dared to explore the complexities of ambition and desire without compromise. By pushing against the restraints later imposed by the Hays Code, Babyface remains a landmark work that continues to influence contemporary debates about sexuality and autonomy on screen. Personal Best, 1982. Personal Best broke significant ground in Hollywood by being the first mainstream film to openly depict lesbian relationships, paving the way for more inclusive narratives in the film industry. Released in 1982, the film centers on the lives of female athletes, delving into their personal and professional struggles, while exploring themes of identity, desire, and societal expectations. With a focus on both competition and intimate relationships, the movie presented a nuanced portrayal of lesbian love, moving beyond mere suggestion to celebrate authentic emotional connections. At a time when LGBTQ+ themes were still often relegated to the margins of cinema, Personal Best challenged prevailing norms by offering a candid and respectful representation of lesbian characters. Its storytelling was marked by a delicate balance, infusing the high-energy world of sports with introspective moments that explored personal vulnerabilities and romantic longing. The film's narrative did not shy away from the complexities of identity, presenting its characters as multifaceted individuals whose love was as profound and challenging as any other form of romance. The athletic backdrop served as a metaphor for the struggles faced by those who dare to live authentically in a society dominated by heteronormative expectations. Although it encountered mixed reactions from conservative critics, Personal Best resonated powerfully with audiences yearning for representation and truth. Its legacy endures as a courageous early example of Hollywood's willingness to push boundaries, inspiring future films to further explore and celebrate the diverse spectrum of human relationships. Pandora's Box, 1929. Pandora's Box, directed by G.W. Pabst, is a landmark silent film that broke new ground in its unflinching portrayal of sexuality and taboo relationships. Centered around the enigmatic character Lulu, the film follows a young woman whose irresistible allure and reckless charm unleash a cascade of tragedy. Lulu's character is a study in contradictions. Simultaneously innocent and dangerously provocative, she seduces both men and women, engaging in one of cinema's first overtly lesbian scenes. This daring depiction was revolutionary for its time, positioning Louise Brooks as a cultural icon and a symbol of liberated female sexuality. Brooks' performance, marked by a captivating blend of vulnerability and defiance, resonated deeply with audiences, especially within queer communities, who saw in Lulu a rare figure of unapologetic desire and self-determination. Beyond its provocative narrative, Pandora's Box is celebrated for its innovative visual style. The film's use of expressive lighting, dynamic composition, and striking mise-en-scène captured the chaotic and unpredictable inner world of its characters. Its narrative, adapted loosely from Frank Wedekind's plays, challenges societal norms by questioning the constraints imposed on women by a patriarchal culture. Although initially met with controversy and mixed reviews, the film has since been recognized as a seminal work in cinematic history. Its influence is evident in later explorations of gender and sexuality on screen, and it continues to inspire filmmakers with its bold aesthetic and narrative courage. In many ways, Pandora's Box remains a testament to the power of cinema to push boundaries and provoke thought about identity, desire, and societal expectations. This Modern Age, 1932. This Modern Age is a daring Joan Crawford film that confronts the provocative themes of modernity, independence, and the inherent conflicts within contemporary society. Released in 1932, the film examines the challenges faced by individuals, particularly women, as they navigate the shifting social landscapes of the early 20th century. Crawford's character embodies the spirit of a modern woman, assertive, self-reliant, and unafraid to challenge traditional gender roles. The film's narrative explores how personal freedom and ambition can clash with societal expectations, highlighting the tensions that arise when conventional values meet progressive ideals. At its core, this Modern Age critiques the paradox of modern life. On one hand, it celebrates the newfound independence and opportunities afforded by a rapidly changing world. On the other, it exposes the underlying dissonance between evolving social norms and the persistent influence of outdated conventions. Crawford's magnetic performance captures this internal conflict with remarkable subtlety. Her character is simultaneously glamorous and deeply conflicted, embodying both the allure and the burdens of modernity. The film also reflects on the commercialization of relationships and the ways in which economic and social pressures shape personal identities. With its incisive script and sophisticated production design, This Modern Age remains a compelling exploration of the cost of progress. It challenges audiences to reconsider the true price of modernity, making it a significant and thought-provoking work in the canon of early sound cinema. The Trial of Mary Dugan, 1929. The Trial of Mary Dugan is a striking example of pre-code Hollywood, pushing the envelope on controversial themes. The film centers on Mary Dugan, a sympathetic mistress whose life takes a dramatic turn when she finds herself accused of murder. In an era where female characters were typically confined to roles of purity and virtue, Mary's character defies expectations by embodying complexity, vulnerability, and moral ambiguity. Her predicament, navigating the legal and societal repercussions of her personal choices, challenges the strictures of traditional morality and invites the audience to empathize with her plight rather than condemn her outright. This bold narrative choice stirred significant controversy upon its release. Notably, the film was banned outright in Chicago, a decision reflecting the deep-seated tensions between artistic expression and conservative values during that period. Critics and censors alike were unsettled by the film's candid portrayal of a woman's sexuality and the stark examination of infidelity and betrayal. Rather than demonize Mary, the film paints her as a multifaceted individual caught in a web of circumstances, thereby questioning the fairness of societal judgment. The narrative's courtroom drama serves as a microcosm of broader cultural conflicts, highlighting the pervasive double standards regarding gender and morality. Though The Trial of Mary Dugan might have faded from mainstream memory, its legacy endures as a testament to the creative risks taken in an era of cinematic experimentation. Risks which paved the way for more nuanced portrayals of women and complex moral narratives in later years. I'm No Angel, 1933. I'm No Angel remains one of Mae West's most iconic films, boldly confronting the double standards of premarital sex and societal hypocrisy during the early sound era. Released in 1933, this witty, fast-paced comedy sees West in a role that is equal parts sensual and sardonic, challenging the moral rigidity imposed by both critics and censors. In the film, West portrays a charismatic, self-assured woman who navigates relationships on her own terms, effortlessly using humor and charm to defy the traditional expectations of female behavior. Her character's unapologetic sexuality and candid attitude toward desire sharply contrasted with the more sanitized portrayals typical of the time. Mae West's performance is not merely an exercise in flirtation. It's a deliberate commentary on the unequal moral standards that judged men and women differently. While men's sexual exploits were often celebrated or excused, women who pursued their passions without restraint faced severe censure. Through witty one-liners and provocative scenes, West exposes the hypocrisy of a society that simultaneously craves and condemns female sexuality. The film's clever script, paired with West's magnetic screen presence, resonated with audiences, contributing to her enduring status as a cultural icon. I'm No Angel ultimately served as both entertainment and subtle protest against a society that demanded conformity, highlighting the transformative power of cinema in challenging and reshaping social norms. Hell's Angels, 1930. Hell's Angels, directed by Howard Hughes and featuring Jean Harlow in one of her breakthrough roles, stands as a daring exploration of wartime passion and peril. Released in 1930, the film is renowned for its extravagant production values and its uncompromising depiction of World War I's brutal realities. With epic aerial battle sequences and sweeping landscapes, the movie captured the visceral chaos of war. Yet, what set it apart was its unflinching portrayal of wartime sexuality, a subject that stirred controversy in an era when prudish sensibilities often dominated the screen. Hughes pushed boundaries by interlacing scenes of intense combat with moments of raw, human intimacy. The film's depiction of relationships amidst chaos was both daring and subversive, challenging the conventional narrative that separated the horrors of war from the pleasures of romance. Jean Harlow, whose screen presence lit up every frame, played a woman whose allure and independence clashed with the rigid expectations of the time. Her character's flirtations and passionate encounters were seen as provocative, sparking debates about the role of sexuality in films set against the backdrop of global conflict. Despite, or perhaps because of, its controversy, Hell's Angels captivated audiences with its blend of spectacle, emotion, and defiance. The film not only redefined war movies with its technical brilliance and daring themes, but also opened a window for more nuanced explorations of desire and intimacy during turbulent times, leaving a lasting legacy in cinematic history. Red-Headed Woman, 1932. Red-Headed Woman is a vibrant and risque comedy that embodies the spirit of pre-code Hollywood by turning conventional gender expectations on their head. Featuring Jean Harlow in a dazzling performance, the film centers on a spirited red-headed woman who navigates her way through a series of seductive escapades and clever social maneuvers. With its playful yet incisive narrative, Red-Headed Woman lampoons the hypocrisy of a society that seeks to regulate female desire while secretly reveling in its spectacle. The film's witty dialogue and cheeky humor challenge the restrictive norms of the day by celebrating sexual freedom and female empowerment. Harlow's character exudes confidence and charm, using her allure to negotiate the treacherous waters of romance and commerce in a manner that was both entertaining and subversive. The film's provocative content, ranging from daring wardrobe choices to suggestive scenarios, stirred controversy among conservative audiences and censors alike. However, it also resonated with viewers who were eager for narratives that embraced modernity and the complexities of human desire. Red-Headed Woman not only provided a refreshing counterpoint to the sanitized fare of later decades, but also contributed to the gradual shift toward more liberated expressions of sexuality in cinema. Its legacy as a cheeky yet incisive social commentary endures, marking it as a seminal work that celebrates the power and vibrancy of a woman unafraid to break all the rules. Possessed, 1931. Possessed, featuring Joan Crawford, is a film that sparked significant debate for its provocative portrayal of a woman deemed a kept woman in a society quick to pass judgment. Released in 1931, the movie delves into the life of a sophisticated and enigmatic female protagonist whose unconventional lifestyle challenges the rigid moral codes of her era. Crawford's portrayal is layered and compelling. She embodies a woman whose personal desires and struggles are rendered with a striking realism that unsettles traditional notions of femininity and virtue. The film's narrative centers around romantic entanglements and societal expectations, critiquing the double standards that permitted male infidelity while condemning women for similar behavior. Possessed presents its protagonist as a complex individual, forced into a precarious position by a society that both desires and demonizes her. The story unfolds as a courtroom drama intertwined with personal redemption, prompting viewers to question the fairness of a system that upholds superficial ideals of propriety. Crawford's performance, marked by emotional depth and nuanced defiance, transforms the film into a subtle indictment of societal hypocrisy. Although controversial for its time, Possessed has endured as a testament to early cinema's willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about gender roles and the moral limitations imposed on women. Its legacy is one of challenging conventions and paving the way for more honest, multifaceted portrayals of female characters in Hollywood. Call Her Savage, 1932. Call Her Savage marks a pivotal moment in early Hollywood, as Clara Bow's daring return to the screen following a widely publicized nervous breakdown. In this controversial comeback film, Bow portrays a woman whose fierce independence and raw emotional energy mirror the public's conflicted view of her real-life persona. The narrative centers on a character determined to reclaim her identity in a society that often dismissed unconventional women as reckless or unstable. The film's storyline deftly explores themes of mental health, societal expectations, and the struggle for personal reinvention in the face of public scrutiny. Clara Bow, once hailed as the epitome of the flapper and a symbol of liberated youth, uses her performance in Call Her Savage to channel both vulnerability and unyielding strength. Her portrayal challenges the stigma of mental illness by revealing the complexity behind her breakdown, a crisis born from the relentless pressure of celebrity and societal norms. The film's provocative narrative and daring visual style provided a platform for Bow to demonstrate that resilience and defiance could coexist, even in the shadow of personal turmoil. Critics at the time were divided. Some lauded her raw, authentic energy, while others were unsettled by her unfiltered display of emotion. Nevertheless, Call Her Savage remains an essential piece of cinematic history. It not only encapsulates the transition of a beloved star reclaiming her power, but also serves as a broader commentary on the pressures faced by women in early Hollywood, paving the way for more nuanced, realistic portrayals of mental and emotional struggles in film. The Jazz Singer, 1927. The Jazz Singer revolutionized filmmaking as the first feature-length motion picture to incorporate synchronized dialogue, marking the dawn of the talkies. Released in 1927 and directed by Alan Crosland, the film narrates the story of Jakey Rabinowitz, a young man torn between the traditions of his immigrant Jewish family and the allure of popular entertainment. Starring Al Jolson, whose dynamic performance captivated audiences, the film blended spoken word and song in a way that had never been seen before, forever altering the conventions of cinematic storytelling. The introduction of sound in The Jazz Singer transformed every aspect of film production, from acting styles and musical scores to technical innovations in sound recording and editing. The film's success spurred studios worldwide to invest in sound technology, gradually phasing out silent films. Its groundbreaking approach also meant that filmmakers had to navigate new artistic challenges. Dialogue delivery, sound effects, and musical integration became crucial elements of narrative structure. Beyond its technical achievements, The Jazz Singer touched on themes of identity and cultural conflict, reflecting the tensions between tradition and modernity. The film resonated deeply with a public eager for innovation and authenticity, even as it sparked debate over its portrayal of ethnic stereotypes. Today, the jazz singer remains celebrated not only as a technical marvel, but also as a cultural milestone that set the stage for the dynamic evolution of cinema, influencing generations of filmmakers and forever changing the art of storytelling on screen. Patch of Blue, 1965. Patch of Blue stands as a seminal work in American cinema for its groundbreaking depiction of interracial relationships at a time when such portrayals were rare and often controversial. Released in 1965, the film centers on the unlikely friendship and blossoming romance between a blind white woman and a black man, challenging the entrenched racial barriers of mid-20th century America. Through its heartfelt narrative, the movie exposes the deeply rooted prejudices that divide society while advocating for empathy, understanding, and the transformative power of human connection. The film's protagonist, whose innocence and vulnerability evoke strong emotional responses, becomes a symbol of hope and change. The relationship portrayed in Patch of Blue is tender, yet defiant, capturing the tension between societal expectations and the universal longing for love and acceptance. Its narrative unfolds against the backdrop of a segregated society, where the characters' struggle for dignity and equality reflects broader civil rights issues. The sensitive direction and powerful performances ensure that the story transcends its immediate context, resonating with audiences as a timeless exploration of love overcoming adversity. Critics praise the film for its honest portrayal of racial tensions and its unflinching commitment to challenging discrimination. By presenting an interracial romance with depth and nuance, Patch of Blue helped pave the way for future cinematic explorations of race, identity, and social justice, marking a significant moment in the evolution of American film narrative. Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. Bonnie and Clyde is widely recognized for its audacious disregard for the restrictive norms of the Hays Code, ushering in a new era of cinematic freedom in the late 1960s. Released in 1967 and directed by Arthur Penn, this film tells the story of the infamous outlaw couple, whose violent exploits captured the imagination of a generation disillusioned by conventional moral standards. By boldly depicting graphic violence, sexuality, and a rebellious anti-establishment spirit, Bonnie and Clyde challenged the sanitized portrayals that had dominated Hollywood for decades. The film's narrative blends romance, crime, and tragedy, creating a compelling myth of modern outlaw life that resonated deeply with audiences. Its innovative storytelling, characterized by rapid editing, stark imagery, and a soundtrack that amplified its raw energy, broke free from the constraints of previous censorship rules. As a result, filmmakers were emboldened to explore darker, more complex themes without fear of retribution from censors. Bonnie and Clyde not only redefined the crime genre, but also catalyzed a broader cultural shift towards more realistic and provocative portrayals of violence and sexuality in film. The characters of Bonnie and Clyde became symbols of youthful rebellion and the quest for freedom in a society marked by conformity. By ignoring the rigid dictates of the Hays Code, the film paved the way for a modern rating system, fundamentally altering the relationship between Hollywood and its audience. Its enduring influence is evident in the continued exploration of anti-hero narratives and the evolution of cinematic storytelling in subsequent decades. Some Like It Hot, 1959. Some Like It Hot, directed by Billy Wilder, remains one of the most iconic comedies to defy the strictures of the Hays Code. Released in 1959, this film boldly blends humor, farce, and a touch of risque innuendo, effectively pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream cinema at the time. The narrative follows two musicians who, after witnessing a mob hit, disguise themselves as women and join an all-female band. Their elaborate charade leads to a series of comedic situations, romantic entanglements, and unexpected twists that keep the audience laughing while subtly challenging gender norms. What makes Some Like It Hot particularly significant is its fearless approach to taboo subjects such as cross-dressing and implied sexual ambiguity, which were rarely explored so openly under the oppressive guidelines of the production code. Billy Wilder's sharp wit and masterful storytelling not only provided audiences with a hilarious romp, but also signaled a shift in cinematic sensibilities. The film's clever script, memorable performances, especially by Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis, and its infectious energy, helped it to become a timeless classic. Its narrative daring paved the way for more liberated expressions of sexuality and humor in films that followed, marking a turning point in Hollywood history. Even decades later, Some Like It Hot is celebrated for its seamless blend of comedy and social commentary, proving that laughter can be a powerful tool in challenging societal norms and censorship constraints. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? 1966. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf stands as a monumental film that boldly defied the limitations of the production code and redefined cinematic storytelling in the 1960s. Directed by Mike Nichols and released in 1966, the film is an unflinching exploration of marital discord, illusion versus reality, and the corrosive effects of long-held resentments. Adapted from Edward Albee's groundbreaking play, it follows a bitter, dysfunctional couple whose bitter, often acerbic exchanges reveal deep-seated pain and disillusionment. The raw, unsanitized dialogue and intense character dynamics challenged traditional cinematic narratives and sparked heated debates among critics and audiences alike. By disregarding the sanitized standards of previous decades, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf opened the door for more complex, adult-themed narratives in mainstream cinema. The film's explicit language, psychological intensity, and the unvarnished portrayal of flawed human relationships were a direct challenge to the rigid censorship rules of the past. Its impact was so profound that it contributed significantly to the development of a modern film rating system, replacing the outdated and restrictive production code. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton deliver powerhouse performances that capture the volatile, often painful interplay of love, hate, and despair, ensuring the film's status as an enduring classic. Today, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is celebrated not only for its artistic merit and daring subject matter, but also for its role in ushering in a new era of cinematic freedom and realism.